game using the RBI scoring software. You do not need to use any of these options, but I feel that when used appropriately, they will make your scoring experience a little bit easier. Now, we'll go over each of these options one by one. The first general option that I'd like to go over is Hide Deleted. Here, in the pitch sequence to Greg Dobbs, you can see there are several pitches with the line struck through them. That means that those pitches have been deleted. I feel that it's a little bit too much clutter to see all of the deleted pitches along with everything else. That's where Hide Deleted comes in. In order to enable the Hide Deleted option, just check the box in front of Hide Deleted. Now, you can see that the only pitches that are shown in the sequence to Greg Dobbs are the pitches that were not deleted from the record. If Hide Deleted is enabled and you want to see the deleted items, you need to uncheck the box in front of Hide Deleted. To do this, just click the check mark and now the box becomes unchecked and you can see the deleted items once again. Personally, I only like to see the deleted items when I'm trying to fix something, but that's a personal choice that is up to the user to make. Whether you hide deleted items or not, it will not affect the scoring of the game. By default, the software only shows all of the actions for the current batter. To see all of the actions for a previous batter, all you have to do is hit the plus sign in front of that batter and you'll now see all of the pitches for that at bat. Anytime you see a plus sign, you can click it to expand to see more information. If you want to see all of the actions and all of the at-bats, this is where Expand Summary comes in. If you check the box in front of Expand Summary, you will now see all of the actions for all of the at-bats. As you can see, if I scroll up to see all of the at-bats in the inning, all of the information is now displayed. In order to toggle Expand Summary on or off, simply uncheck or check the box. The next general option that I'd like to go over is Always on Top. When you have multiple windows open, it's somewhat easy to get the software hidden behind them if you click on the other windows in view. For instance, if I have Game Day open for my game and click into that window and scroll around to see what's going on in my game, the software is now hidden. Always on Top can correct that. To enable Always on Top, go up to File and select Always on Top. Now, if I want to check out Game Day to see what's going on in my game, the software will stay in view. If you have Always on Top enabled and want to turn it off, you want to go up to File, and now you'll see that the box in front of Always on Top is checked. Just click Always on Top, and now Always on Top should be disabled. To verify that, go into File again, and you'll now see that Always on Top is no longer checked. You can score a game without any problems, whether Always on Top is enabled or not. So, whether you decide to enable Always on Top or not is strictly a user preference. The last general option that I'd like to go over is Scorebook View. In order to enable Scorebook View, click the View tab up top and select Scorebook. Now, over on the right hand side, you'll see all the players arranged in order as they would appear in a scorebook along with what they did in this inning. The leadoff batter in the inning will have a caret by his name, so you can see that Greg Dobbs led off this inning. Outs are denoted in a red box along with the number out that was made. So here, Dobbs made the first out of the inning, Savory was the second out, and Bocock was the third out. All runs are filled in like you would normally do in a scorebook. If Scorebook View is on and you want to turn it off, go back to the View tab and you'll see that Scorebook is checked. Just scroll down and click Scorebook and you'll now see that Scorebook View is disabled. My experience indicates that most people will find Scorebook View most useful when trying to fix something such as earned runs. I feel that it's easier to determine whether a run is earned or not if you can see what everybody did in the inning. While, like with the other general options, it is strictly a user preference as to whether you want to use scorebook view. I'd like to strongly urge the user to not have scorebook view enabled at all times. Scorebook view is continuously being updated, so if you have scorebook view always enabled, it will slow down the performance of the scoring software. All pitch entry begins on this screen. The result of a pitch can be a ball, a strike, a foul ball, or the ball can be hit into play. For now, let's just focus on strikes that were not the result of a foul ball. If this is the case, you'll need to choose either strike swinging, strike taken, or strike other. Notice the shortcut keys that correspond to each selection. Strike swinging can be selected by either clicking on the button or hitting the 9 key with numbers lock activated. Likewise, strike taken can be selected by hitting the button or hitting the 6, and strike other can be activated by hitting the button or hitting the 3 key. Additionally, under strike other, there are more options after making the initial selection. For instance, if I click the strike other button, I will now see missed bunt, foul tip third strike, and foul bunt third strike. Missed bunt can also be activated by hitting the 1 key after making the strike other selection. Foul tip third strike can also be activated by using the 4 key after choosing strike other. And foul bunt third strike can also be activated by hitting the 5 key after choosing strike other. Notice under strike other that 2 of the options, foul tip third strike and foul bunt third strike, appear to be inactive. The reason why that's the case is right now there are no strikes on the batter, and both of these options require that the pitch be a third strike. Now, let's score a few sample pitches that are strikes. Let's say the first pitch is a strike swinging. To record this, I can either hit the strike swinging button or hit the 9 key. Here, I'll hit the button, and you can see that the batter now has a strike swinging assigned to him, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Let's say the second pitch is a strike taken. I can either click the strike taken button or hit the 6 key. Here, I hit the 6, and you can see that my strike taken has now been recorded, and there's no balls and 2 strikes. Finally, let's say that the batter struck out on a foul tip. To do this, hit the 3 key to activate the strike other options. Now you can see that foul tip third strike and foul bunt third strike are active and able to be chosen. Here we have a foul tip third strike, so I can hit the 4 key, and now my batter is struck out on a foul tip, and you can see that there's 1 out. Also note that the software will advance to the next batter automatically. Now let's see what happens if there is a ball. The vast majority of the time you're just going to be selecting ball taken. You can do this by either clicking the button or using the 4 key as the shortcut. Here, let's click the button, and you can see the batter now has a ball assigned to him, and the count is 1 ball, no strikes. If there's another ball, we can once again either click the button or use the shortcut. This time I hit the 4 key, and you can see the second ball is now assigned to the batter. Ball other comes into play for special circumstances where a ball is assigned to the pitcher. If I click the ball other button, I will see the options under that menu. Those are intentional for intentional ball, pitch out if a pitch out is made, pitcher to mouth if an automatic ball is charged to the pitcher for going to his mouth, and delay a game if an automatic ball is charged to the pitcher for slowing up the play. The shortcuts are 1 for intentional, 2 for pitch out, 3 for pitcher to mouth, and 4 for delay of game. If there was a pitch out, I would choose the pitch out option, and you can now see there's a ball taken, pitch out, and the batter now has a 3-ball, no strikes count on him. Now let's see what happens when a foul ball occurs. The vast majority of the time you will select foul either by clicking the button or selecting 5 on the number pad. Sometimes you'll need to use foul other, but about 90% of the time or so you will use just regular old foul. Here, let's just say there was a regular foul. Hit the button and you can now see that the batter has been charged with the foul ball and the count is 3 balls, 1 strike. If you have a non-routine foul ball, you will be able to find the proper selection under foul other. To select foul other, you want to either click the foul other button or hit the 2 key on the number pad. Here, I hit the button and I get my options: foul tip, foul bunt, foul fly plus error, and foul bunt plus error. Note there are 4 options that are inactive. These options will always be inactive in the RBI scoring software because they only apply to Major League games. The shortcuts are 1 for foul tip, 2 for foul bunt, 3 for foul fly plus error, and 6 for foul bunt plus error. Here, let's say there was a foul tip. If I hit 1, I can see the batter is now charged with a strike foul tip, and we now have a full count: 3 balls, 2 strikes. When something happens to the batter and he puts the ball in play, you're going to want to hit the in play button, which can also be activated by hitting the 8 key on the number pad. Here, I hit the button and I can see a field diagram come up. This is where we mark our hit location, hit type, and hit velocity. First, we'll plot the hit location. We want to click the point on the field that corresponds to our hit location. Let's say the ball was hit into shallow center field, just a little bit to the left of center. We drag our cursor to that point, let's say it's here, and then we click. This is our hit location. If you want to change your hit location, that is also easy to do. You can just click another point on the field and your hit location will be updated to reflect the new location that you clicked. For instance, let's say we plotted our location a little bit too shallow. I go a little bit beyond where I marked my initial hit location and click again. Now you can see my new hit location slightly deeper than the original one that I plotted. Now we mark our hit type and hit velocity. First, let's mark the hit velocity. In the drop down next to ball in play speed, I have 3 options: soft, medium, and hard. There are also shortcut keys here: 1 for soft, 2 for medium, 3 for hard. Let's say this hit was medium. I can either click medium or hit the 2 key to make my selection. Now we plot the hit type. In the drop down under ball in play type, we have 8 choices: grounder, chopper, liner, fliner liner, fliner fly, fly, bunt grounder, and bunt fly. Also note the shortcuts that correspond to each of our choices here. Let's say we had a fliner liner. I can choose fliner liner or hit the 4 key to make my selection. If the runners were moving, there's a checkbox to indicate that. Simply check the box and we now indicate that the runners were moving. It is important to note that we are not trying to determine whether the hit and run play was on or not. If the facts of the play are that at least 1 runner on base is moving on the pitch and the ball is put into play, you want to make sure the runner's moving checkbox is selected. The only exception to this is if there's a 3-2 count with 2 outs and a runner is forced to advance. In this case, we don't want to check the runner's moving box because the runners will always be going in this situation. We also keep track if there's a defensive shift on a ball in play. We do this in the drop down by no shift. No shift is the default, but it can be changed if necessary. The options are traditional affected, traditional